Breaking news on KSHB 41 News starts right now.
All right, folks, we're going to start this half hour by showing you these pictures. These pictures come from the historic city of Selma, Alabama today. Severe weather just ripped through that state. More than a dozen tornadoes touching down. Most city streets in Selma closed because of downed power lines and downed trees. Buildings destroyed, only a few blocks away from the city's historic Edmund Pettus Bridge. At this time, we don't know if anyone has died from these storms.
Wes, the images are so powerful, and that storm system is moving toward the East Coast.
Yeah.
What's the latest there?
Yeah, right now there was a tornado warning in the Charlotte metro within the last hour, hour and a half. Thankfully, that's all just moved east of it. And so the severe weather threat overall is winding down, but that tornado that did go through Selma may have actually originated, or the storm may have actually originated in southeastern Mississippi and then moved through Selma right there around 1 o'clock. In fact, central Alabama has just been scattered with tornado reports. So has Georgia, and now there's a confirmed tornado in southern Georgia with more severe thunderstorm warnings pushing through Charlotte and into South Carolina as well. This is the same system that literally just came through here and brought us a little bit of light snow this morning. But how much snowfall did we get around the region? I'll give you some of those totals coming up in just a bit.
Tonight, the KSHB 41I team is looking at solutions after a KBI report found more than 400 children may have been abused by members of the Catholic Church.
And in many of those cases, the statute of limitations has expired. That means no charges have been filed, even though the KBI presented charging information for 30 clergy members.
Tonight, I-Team reporter Sarah Plake looks into legislation to change the statute of limitations.
For survivors, a bill like this means agency, it means justice, and so they're hoping that this will finally be the year that lawmakers will follow through.
I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse. My name is Tessa Ramirez, and David Bird spent 2 years in prison for what he did to me.
I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse. Sexual abuse survivors deserve justice. Hear the SOL bill, hear us.
4 brave survivors told their stories at the Kansas State House, urging lawmakers to pass bills in both the Senate and the House that would remove the statute of limitations for victims of child sexual abuse to seek justice. Right now, a victim has until 21 years old to file a civil lawsuit against their abuser, which many say is just not enough time given the impact of the abuse.
You have to front the money at hand to even pursue something like this. You have to know how to find an attorney, how to hire an attorney to actually get something through. There's just so many barriers on something that shouldn't have a barrier. State
Senator Cindy Holscher and State Representative Mike Schreiber are filing bills that would do away with the deadline. For civil lawsuits, people victimized in 1984 and on could sue. For criminal cases, the statute of limitations would be dropped from here on out. Earl McIntosh didn't start talking about his abuse until he was 36, which is similar for a lot of victims.
I would like to encourage anybody to come forward, no matter what the stakes are, because it's too much to live with.
We've recently heard amplified calls for change with a KBI report revealing Kansas Catholic clergy members abused hundreds of kids over the last 50 years. It added more fuel to State Senator Holscher's fire.
The good news about the report coming out Friday was that, again, it enlarged the scope to help us better understand exactly what we're dealing with. But yeah, I do feel like there's more pressure or more interest in moving this forward now.
Sarah Plake, KSHB 41 News.
Yesterday, our co-anchor Caitlin Canute reported the state of Kansas has no statute requiring clergy members to be mandated reporters, which would make them legally required to report abuse. They are mandated reporters in Missouri, but there is an exception for privileged conversations like confession in the Catholic Church. Today, the Catholic Bishops of Kansas sent us this statement regarding those laws. It says this: the Catholic Bishops of Kansas have enthusiastically supported and continue to support legislation mandating that duly ordained clergy members report instances of abuse and neglect. Reminder, folks, if you have a tip you want us to investigate, our KSHB 41I team, it's as simple as sending an email, investigators@kshb.com.
Kansas City, Missouri residents will get to decide if the city will charge an additional sales tax on recreational marijuana. Today, the KCMO City Council passed the tax by a 9-2 vote. It now heads to voters for the April 4th election. If passed, marijuana buyers would pay an extra 3% on top of the state sales tax. That money would then be allocated to the Department of Health. Today, Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed a special counsel to investigate President Joe Biden's handling of classified documents. This all comes as a second set of classified documents was found at the president's home. Former U.S. Attorney Robert Hur will lead that probe. He served in the Justice Department under former President Trump. Garland says these extraordinary circumstances require this approach.
This appointment underscores for the public the department's commitment to both independence and accountability in particularly sensitive matters, and to making decisions indisputably guided only by the facts and the law.
In November, classified documents were discovered at an office Biden had used between his vice presidency and presidency. He says his lawyers turned those documents over right away.
We have some good news from the economy today as inflation looks to be easing. December's consumer price index showed its largest month-to-month decrease since early 2020. We told you about the CPI every month, right? It's the Labor Department metric that tracks the prices you pay for goods and services. Food and energy are the two biggest pieces here, but it also tracks clothing, medical care, shelter, transportation. December CPI shows an overall drop in prices of 0.1%. That doesn't seem like much, right? But it's the first time the CPI has dropped since the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, when much of the economy shut down. But where does that number come from? Most factors stayed relatively steady, like food, which rose less than 0.5%. Utilities went up in December. Electricity went up 1%, and natural gas 3%. Used cars fell 2.5%. The big change came at the pump. Fuel oil is down more than 16%. Those gas prices fell sharply in December, but they're rising again right now. The national average sits at $3.27 today, 1 cent higher than this time last month. Today, Kansas paying on average $2.90. Missouri, those drivers are paying $2.93. Despite last month's slight drop in prices overall, inflation still well above last year's marks. The CPI found a year-over-year increase of 6.5%.
Tax season is almost here, and there's a greater chance than ever you could be audited. What to know before you file after the break.
Plus, many people battling symptoms of COVID-19 long after they've had the disease. What we're learning about long COVID coming up.